What's up, everybody? Coach Ryan here with Project Fresh. How you guys doing? Hope you are well and enjoying the week so far. Just making sure that we've got all of these coming up for our Monday launch live this morning. Let's make sure. There you go. Make sure that's muted. Cool. So we're live on both our Instagram and our YouTube. This is Project Fresh, your company, with some dog fur in the mix. Just got done teaching our small group private session. We have, or semi-privates, we have our, well, actually that's our small group, our TRX at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time or 10 a.m. Pacific. We do teach two different style group sessions, more specific small group private training. So it's not group fitness, but more small group private style training. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we're looking to get into a group with others who are dedicated to their fitness on a regular basis. For those on YouTube, you just saw a special guest appearance. So for those that want to know what I'm talking about on Instagram, I guess you're going to have to come check us out on YouTube. But for those who want a very steady, what shall I say, a very steady and consistent group that you can work with at your leisure of your home, that is a very consistent group now since 2017. So they've been going hard since it'll be 8 years in, I think, June or July that this particular group has been going strong. So anyway, this is Ryan Sanders, Project Fresh. This is our Monday Lunch Live. We do this every Monday, Mountain Standard Time, 12 p.m., aka Monday Lunch Live. 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. on the East Coast, for those in Miami and New York and everywhere in between. And today's focus or topic is control the controllables. Controllables may not be a word per se. I am not the first person to talk on this topic. In fact, I think we may have done this topic in the last couple of years, so it's good to revisit. But this morning, my wife had a flight out for a work engagement. She's getting more responsibilities, stretch assignment particularly. And so we got up to get her out of here. And I was doing that in between client sessions. So we've already had 3 this morning, with more down the road later today, another 3 in the afternoon. And the reality of the world is that there are certain things you can control, and there are certain things that are completely out of your control. And how you do things is really going to determine your overall results and success. So, for example, for those on Instagram, go ahead and look at my story today. Excuse me. You'll notice the special guest I was talking about. He is probably laying down somewhere now, but our burner, Bernese Mountain Dog Morphe, was up underneath me while I was showing a floating knee tuck on the TRX here for our, let's see, you can see there, our TRX hanging right off the door. For those on Instagram, I was showing a plank with a knee tuck, and he got right up underneath me. But let's say Morphe decides to choose something that he's not supposed to, and all of a sudden I have to rush him to the doggy ER, right? That is completely out of my control. I can't do anything about it. But if I don't do something about what he did, he may not be with us anymore, right? And that's kind of a random idea. Obviously, I hope he stays well and good with his rambunctious self. But there are those cases where something of an emergency, or even lesser than, right? Our kid gets sick, which could be an emergency. I won't say that's lesser than to the parents watching, but just something happens that's out of our control. A work assignment comes up. We have to all of a sudden get a deadline in a lot sooner than we thought. All of a sudden we have a few more projects dropped in our lap at work. Whatever it might be, I've had about 5 years of corporate experience where I found myself in kind of the lower space of mid-management, working my way towards upper tiers of the corporate ladder before I left to do this full time. And so whatever it is, obviously my wife and I don't have kids. If you don't know anything about us, we don't have kids. So that's not obvious to those that don't know us. We do have a four-legged furry kid, if you will. But ultimately, there are things that can pop up that are way out of our control, right? I'm sure you sit down and you think about it, it's pretty straightforward on that. Come here. So with that being said, there are things that are within our control. How we spend our time really is within our control. Hey, so for those on Instagram, here he is. There you can say hi, Morphe. Yeah. Start nibbling on my arm. All right, sit. Hey, sit. Good boy. All right, so for those who are here on YouTube, you guys are getting to see this puppy love here, 5 months plus, 55 pounds of pure mayhem and growing, losing all of his teeth right now. Anyway, I can't control him popping in, right? He's a dog. He's going to come in and he's going to do his thing. And now he's going to bite my arm and be a nutbag. He's teething because his teeth are falling out. So trying to keep him going so he's not in too much pain. But ultimately, what's in our control is how we spend our time. What's in our control is if we go and move our body in any different way, shape, or form. That's exercise and movement. So it's like walking, getting out on the walk. What we pull or put into our mouth is 100% our control. It is not your spouse's fault. Never, ever, never. Okay. That's not necessarily perfect English, but it is never your spouse's responsibility for what they put in your mouth. And if you go, hey, Ryan, but you just don't get it. It's like, unless they are holding you down and shoving food in your mouth, which I've never heard happen. And if it is the case, then you're a special case, really. And I don't mean that in any kind of way. Like, that is just unheard of. Then it is 100% your responsibility. Let's say that you're dealing with food as a means of coping. Stress was a factor for me as a kid. I developed a coping mechanism around food, particularly peanut butter, which translated well into my 20s before I saw that coping mechanism go early in my 30s. So that was something I actively had to put myself in a position to see go. Do I still love peanut butter? Absolutely. Do I need it? I'm actually completely out of peanut butter right now as of 5 days or so. Sit. Hey, sit down. Be good. And so if I'm stressed or whatever it is, I've got mechanisms in place that I can use now that are healthy. And it was like, Ryan, peanut butter is not a problem. Well, if you're pounding half of a jar in one sitting, then yes, it is a problem. The calories add up very fast. Good luck losing weight when you're taking out that kind of amount of calories at any given time. So that's just one example, but ultimately that was 100% in my control, something I could control by saying no to myself and not making any excuses whatsoever. And that is the same case for everybody else who gets to hear this message this morning. And it could be a number of different things. It could be alcohol. It could be cigarettes and marijuana. I'm understanding that the way that tobacco impacts the capillaries or blood vessels, rather, are very significant in the context of your health. I'm not 100% on all of the specifics, but it's definitely enough for the last primary care physician that I saw to tell me, hey, or to elaborate on the fact that nicotine can be very detrimental and is now something that they ask and check with everybody, regardless of where you may be in life or your season or your health. They make sure that you don't smoke 100% of the time. And if you do, they have much more follow-up than it seems before based on what they're finding. But ultimately, those are the controllables. Now, Ryan, I am stuck in a controllable. I cannot seem to control myself in the world of one of these things or other, and it is directly impacting my health. What do I do? Great question. First, you just did step number one, which is you've stated, I am aware of the challenge or the problem that is not getting me where I want to be. I've stated it and I've, gotten it out. that that I'm aware of it and that it needs to change. Okay, cool. Number one, awareness is a big factor. Stating it is number one. Number two is actively creating a game plan to get yourself there. Just put in a little caveat. We are not psychologists. We are not psychiatrists. We are not trained mental health care providers. Okay. We're not physicians either. So if it does require the care of a physician or a specialist in mental health, whether it be psychologist or other, it is up to you to find that individual to get them on your team and get you the help that you need. Okay. I would say that very encouragingly. I suffered some very heavy duty depression back in 2015. And fitness was the thing that helped me to come out of that heavy duty depression going into 2016, which ended up being the year that I left my corporate work 100% of the time. And I've been doing this ever since. So, and from that position at that time, I committed to myself that I would never allow myself to go back into that amount of depression again, which meant I needed to know how to identify it, number one. Number two, I needed to know how to speak about it and be articulate in what it was I'm dealing with and getting the help if I needed it, which I did a lot of work in 2020 when we had all of that free time indoors, right? When we were all stuck inside during COVID. I worked with a pastor of mine, also worked with a specialist in basically letting go of past unresolved issues that were causing me to not, see the lifestyle and the results I wanted to see, or at least have the perspective in spite of the outcome that's still ongoing. But did a lot of intentional work around grief that year and grew quite a bit. So that's, number two, first being aware, number two, getting some help. And then number three, or assistance. And number three, just staying consistent. Once you've got that awareness out there, once you've created a game plan with a professional, number three is really consistency. And things aren't going to happen overnight. For some, the very few, you have that miracle and all of a sudden there's no more coping or addiction. All of a sudden things turn around for you and you've got a group of friends that just pop up out of nowhere who want to go to the gym with you and work out on a regular basis. Whatever it is, fill in the blank. What was missing, the void is now just immediately filled. That is a very small percentage of all of us. I can't think of the last time I had a scenario where that was just immediately filled. Probably when I was dealing with some relational challenges. I had two brothers that were right there for me within a very short period of time who I could go and hang out with, hike, and share with them what was going on in my life. And that was in 2013. I'm sure there's some others along the way there. That's just the one that first comes to mind. But ultimately, for the rest of us who it's a long period, it might feel drawn out. It might feel like, where is my help coming from? Where is it? Is it ever going to make its way my way? Right. The goal is to hang in there and keep people around you who understand what it is you're going through. You've shared your goals with them and they know that you're on the journey so they can be there for you. Not easier said than done, right? But totally important to stay consistent and keep those people in your life so long as they're appropriate for the season. One other caveat, side note, is not everybody's intended to be in your life for the full aspect or whole duration of your life. What did I hear it say? Friends are here for a reason, a season, or for life. I can't remember who it was that said that to me and my wife. Might have been one of the elders at our church. But friends or individuals could be here for a reason, a season, or for life. And of course, we know usually those lifers are few, far in between. When they come, we obviously appreciate them and by all means. But getting back to the overall topic at hand, control the controllables. There are things that you can control that will directly relate and correlate to your lifestyle, fitness and movement, how you eat, how you sleep, how you stress manage. Are you hydrated? Are you present to what's going on in your life versus coping and maybe even further beyond extended coping using some kind of or getting into a space and place of addiction where now that coping mechanism is no longer just a means to deal with stress. It is now something that you are addicted to physiologically, or excuse me, well, yeah, physiologically, but probably even more so psychologically. Sit. Okay. My dog is apparently addicted to biting the back of my arm. And it is the most frustrating thing every time he does it. I assume he knows it works. You got food on the side of your face, buddy. All right. So that being said, that's it for today. Those three things are very important. Awareness of self and what's going on is number one. Number two, if you need a practitioner, someone who is certified, verified, and a professional to help you with that, really get them into the mix, or a solid group of a solid base of friends and family or others. Doesn't necessarily have to be friends or family. People outside of your inner circle can sometimes be a really great resource. That has been the case for me on many occasions. Those two that I just mentioned during my 2020 grief work, which happened to go pretty much a year straight into 2021. Sit down. Were very influential and not necessarily in my inner circle. Sorry, it's tearing me up. And then number three is the consistency factor. Do not give up. Do not give up. Okay. And that's all I have for today. I hope this was valuable for you guys. If you feel that you need some more assistance on the task of controllables, Project Fresh specializes in lifestyle coaching, where we specifically provide a custom approach for you in your fitness, your nutrition, and everything else. We make sure that you have everything that you need to be successful in that approach as well. Sit. Hey, sit. Lie down. All the way down. Lie down. Okay, we make sure that you have everything you need to stay consistent in that approach all the way through till you reach your ideal lifestyle. And we show you how to address the controllables as well as how to hang in there during those uncontrollable seasons too, like this little furry butt head that's bothering me right now while I'm trying to do this. Yeah, you're being a nuisance, aren't you? Yeah, because your teeth are falling out. It's driving you crazy. Ugh. That's a good thing, right? Awareness of others is a big one. I talked about that in the past in a different topic. But being aware of those around you, like this dude. The reason why he's going hard right now and tearing my arms apart is because he's got his teeth falling out. Yeah, he's a puppy. That's a puppy thing to do. He's in a very specific stage of his puppyhood. So being aware of that helps me not get so frustrated with him and, upset, because I know that he's dealing with probably some kind of pain in his gums right now. He just lost the tooth and it's bleeding. That sucks. The teeth stuff is not fun. If you've ever had to deal with teeth things, from wisdom to losing teeth to crowns to deep cleans or root canals, then you know how much fun dealing with going to the dentist and the orthodontist is. And so poor puppy here, he can't articulate that, but I see he's actually lost maybe 2 teeth today. And so this dude is just teething like crazy. So let me get off here and leave you guys to your Monday. This is Ryan Sanders, our Monday Lunch Live. We are here every Monday at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time with a topic of the week. Today was Control the Controllables. We'll be right back here, same time, same place next week. And we hope you guys are off to a great start in March. We typically do our March Madness Challenge this month. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get it started, but if we are, you'll be hearing from us next week on those details. Sit. Hey, sit. On the details of our Monday March Madness, our annual challenge. Usually it's about 21 days leading into the end of the month, which this case is the 31st on a Monday. So we'd probably finish out on the 30th, which means we'd probably start, the 10th. So that's too late. So maybe we'd carry it into April. We'll see. But anyway, hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you all.